The calendar may have turned to December, but we still have one day of cross country on the schedule, and it's the biggest two races of the Division II season. Part of the Division II Fall Festival. We're in the Pacific time zone, and it is cold. Winter has arrived early, and it'll be the men first as the Division II Men's Cross Country Championship comes your way here on NCAA.com. Don't let that picture fool you, folks. It is cold here at Chambers Creek Regional Park. Here's the 10K routes. It's going to be a lot of loops, including 3 times the big loop through the driving range of Chambers Bay. And watch for that little chute in the middle that connects the park to the north to the spot to the south in wet conditions after snow has fallen the last couple of days. 7 times they will pass through that chute throughout the course of this race. Temperatures hovering in the middle 30s. There is not much breeze here. And with the temperature finally getting above freezing, we're starting to see a nice little dusting of snow start to melt away. But all of the athletes, all 34 teams, 25 individuals lined up in the 44 boxes across the way to get set for this national championship run. The defending champion Grand Valley State will be all the way over in box number 42 here in this 2022 edition of this race. The top team in the country, the Ore Diggers of Colorado School of Mines, they get a favorable starting spot there in box 17 as they'll narrow from the chute heading into the golf course property. Will Haskett with you. 6.2 miles, 10,000 meters. They are set for the start of this 2022 race. And we are underway. A sprint to who will be out front, and what an absolutely glorious shot back at all the fans who have gathered here. The beautiful bridge off in the distance that leads folks here at Chambers Creek Regional Park down to the water and the public access beach. A beautiful view of the sprint to the start. So many storylines to watch. We'll be watching them over the next half an hour or so in this race, including who tries to separate early, and what a difference between this year's race and last year's dramatic showdown in Florida. About 40 degrees in temperature, no worry about humidity, and a little less elevation on this course. You can see some of the turf and the mud flying up in the back of this pack, and that'll be a big storyline in this one, is how this turf holds up over the course of this race, and then obviously the women's 6K championship run that is to follow here on NCAA.com. Top 2 teams in the country are 2 that we expected to go back and forth last year for the title. Colorado Mines, top all year long. Chris Seamer's group has been dominant. The 2-time national champions coming off of their 4th straight regional title. Raced on this course back in October and placed 5 runners in the top 8 at the pre-nationals meet. And of course, will this be the redemption story for Dylan Powell? They're all everything junior. 2-time regional champion coming off a regional title in which he won by nearly 3/4 of a minute. He was running away from the field last year in Florida before his pace turned to be untenable and he broke down. But looks to be near the front of the pack to begin his quest for a national championship here in 2022. Try and steady that shot and get an idea. You see this mild bit of elevation that the runners will go through as they work their way through the tightest of the 4 loops they will make through what is the driving range of adjacent Chambers Bay golf course. A little bit of ups and downs through here, and there will be some elevation at the high point of the 2nd circle that they'll do near the finish line as the runners make their way through. It is a narrow pathway through much of this 10K layout. We mentioned with so many circles over and over again, how the turf holds up will be a big part of the story, as much as it will be the pace and the fitness of these world-class runners. Live scoring will also be delivering split times pretty much at every 1,000 meters. So we will pass along that data as it gets to us right here. They completed 1,000 meters right about now. They made the turn back towards what will be the first right-hand turn to the northern half of this Chambers Creek Regional Park property. There will be no worries of overheating or exhaustion here in 2022 like we had last year. 17 runners failing to finish. The most dramatic of those, of course, being Dylan Powell of Mines when he was leading the race. Several runners began that race pulling away from the pack, and then almost every single one of them to a man broke down before you had the 1-2 finish of Grand Valley State. It is Jan Lucas Becker from Mississippi College leading the pack at 1,200 meters. Affy Zaru from UC Colorado Springs, Dylan Powell from Mines. 1, 2, 3, Becker, Zaru, and Powell, but you can see plenty of other runners right there in the mix. And no one has elected to truly pull away from this. And probably a good strategy and by design, especially for the 10,000 meter champion in outdoor track and field, Dylan Powell. Maybe even perhaps learning a bit from last year's lesson in this national championship to control the tempo early, but also keep himself in control. You see in the white bib at the very front, the lead runner for Mines, who has the depth necessary to win a third national championship here in 2022. The question will be perhaps the 5-man for Grand Valley State of the top 2 teams in the country. So 4 with about a half-second edge over the rest of the pack making their way through here. As we find ourselves at the top half of this Chambers Creek Regional Park. And the boundary fences there. And this beautiful piece of property, Puget Sound, off to the west. I should say, in these wet conditions, even with the seasons turning here in the Pacific Northwest, a more sandy-based coastal soil will allow the melting snow to provide probably a better pathway for the runners than if this was being contested in many other parts of the country. Splits at 2,000 meters. You still see those front 4, Becker, Powell, Zaru, and Thomas Termott from Charleston. Mines occupying 5 of the top 14 scorable positions at that 2,000 meter split, and now with better data coming through, it's actually 5 of the top 28 spots. And at the 2,000 meter split, maintaining a pretty comfortable edge over Wingate in second and Grand Valley State in third. The split's at 2,000 meters. And that early question for the Lakers, what would come out of the 5 spot right now? 74th position counting for the Lakers. That has to improve if they are to repeat as national champions. Powell maintaining the pace, a little pull away for the top 3 now as they make their way back down, nearing the 3K juncture of this race. Entire field starting to stretch a little bit, as would be expected. Have to watch that footing. You see just a couple of low dips out here too that could prove to be fatal slips, especially for those teams trying to jockey for position all the way through the top 4 or 5. And then there were 3 out front. That leading group, a couple of South Central rivals in Powell and Zaru, pulling along Becker, the South Region champion who finished 10th last year for Queens before transferring to Mississippi College.
Let's go, Eric! Let's go! Come on, keep it up, baby!
I just love the scene, don't you? And a really great fan-friendly layout with those 2 loops, an opportunity to beat the runners across the other way to cheer everybody on. And you'll see the front here. Powell still looking quite comfortable. Becker moustached on the outside, and Zaru has elected to park right behind Dylan Powell. Will this be the race of all races where he's able to overcome his RMAC rivals? Zaru second to Powell in both the South Central Regional and the RMAC championships. At 3,000 meters, Mines maintaining the team edge. The continued growth and power of the Bulldogs of Wingate, and head coach Paul Dominic, just his 3rd year, and he has built them into a very quick national championship contender. Wingate showing in 2nd right now with 2 runners inside the top 10 of team counting runners and 4 in the top 20. Grand Valley State 3rd, Colorado Christian 4th, Chico State 5th. That's your top 5. Mines, Wingate, GVSU, Colorado Christian, Chico State at the 3,000 meter split. Just past 11 minutes. Powell starting to pick it up a little bit. Here you see the degradation of the turf a little bit, then the transition. Walkways throughout this entire course. Footing is going to be very important. But it's Powell pulling Becker and Zaru along. They look to be the 2 that are willing to give Powell the challenge here in this national championship. They'll come through some timing here. And we'll cycle through new results. By the way, the 3,000 meter pace was about 9 minutes flat. 9 minutes in a small bucket of change from the front 3 runners, and then a few seconds back to the peloton trying to keep the championship pace. Now at 3,800, Powell, Becker, and Zaru, 3-second edge over Gideon Kimitai, who's pulled into 4th. And the 1-2 from Grand Valley State, Tanner Chata and Caleb Futter. Very similar position to what we saw from the Lakers' top 2 runners last year in this meet. Remember, it was Chata behind eventual winner Isaac Harding. Maintained their pace, and then were able to take advantage when the top runners gassed out, including Dylan Powell. Don't know if the conditions this year are going to allow for anybody up front to truly falter. But it's Chata and Caleb Futter, 5th and 6th on the board through 3,800 meters for Grand Valley State. But the Lakers are just not getting enough push out of runners 4 and 5 right now, counting points outside the top 50 for the Lakers in their title defense. And at 3,800 meters, the Mines lead has grown to almost 60 points, with Powell out front and then runners in the 10, 14, 15, and 26th positions. You see the 2 from GVSU leading that secondary peloton. These positions so vital. Some teams jockeying perhaps for their first ever podium finish that are all in the mix. Those last splits at 3,800. About 100 points or so separating 5th all the way down to 9th. That sounds like a big margin to make up, but when you're running in packs like this, if all of a sudden you can find a little bit of a burst to make up 20, 25 positions, what that can do to the math for your team looking for some hardware. Temperature is a story no longer, nearly 15 minutes into this race. Everybody at full speed and full breath, and a little bit of separation now for Powell out front. Narrowest of leads, but a lead nonetheless, with Becker and Giroux trying to keep pace, but Powell has flipped it into another gear, it appears, for the moment. Won that South Central region over Giroux by over 40 seconds. The only man in the field to run a sub 30. And here comes Powell, the man on the mission. Becker and Giroux trying to keep pace. Chada has pulled away from his teammate now. He's trying to keep up. As you see, Futter has fallen off the pace of that second group. He was some 2 or 3 seconds behind his teammate Tanner Chada as they were running shoulder to shoulder through the first nearly half of this race. That is not a good sign for Grand Valley State's title defense hopes. At the almost midway mark, 4,600 meters, the Mines lead growing to nearly 80 points. 58, Wingate still in second, and Grand Valley State again losing more points at the number 4 and 5 spots. So right now, everything working for Chris Seamer's squad, but again, it was this juncture, or just a little bit past this juncture in last year's meet where you lost that dominant 1 point you were getting from Dylan Powell up front, and it completely changed the outcome of this one. But more than halfway to go, and Mines in the driver's seat. No race done until the very end. Just ask the Ore Diggers a year ago, even ask last year's national runner-up, Adam State, who could not qualify for this one after having a poor showing in 7th place in the regional. Bad races can happen, bad moments can happen, bad individual dramatic situations can happen. No drama at this point, however, for the expected outcome of the Powell-led Ore Diggers on top. .600-meter splits. We mentioned Powell pulling away his lead to 7 seconds over Becker and Giroux. Tanner Chada up into that 4th position, 8 seconds off the pace. Will there be a late kick from the champs of Grand Valley State? Jerry Baltus, in his 24th season, always finds a way to get the most out of his athletes right at the end. Always seem to peak for this race. But they're going to have to find a different level of peaking to dig deep here over the last 3,500 meters, 4,000 meters or so that's remaining in this race if they're to make up a sizable gap now to the top. 5,600 meter splits showing Mines with the score right now unofficially of 54. 92 points clear of Wingate now in second. The Bulldogs with nobody running inside the top 16. Great depth and pack running, but no match right now for the Ore Diggers. They've got all 7 runners in the top 31 positions in terms of counting positions. When you remove the individuals, that's how dominant it is right now for Colorado Mines. Stephen Goldie right now is the last runner on the course for Mines, running in 36th overall. Dylan Powell runs a sub-19 4-mile split, 18:58. His time coming across at 4 miles. And his lead has opened up to 10 seconds over Tanner Chata, who has overtaken Jan Lucas Becker. Chata ran second in this race last year. Maybe he's going to have a push late in this race to make it individual champions from Grand Valley State for the second straight season. There goes Dylan Powell, and you can start doing the timing in your own head until the second place runner comes by. Sizable gap, and there comes Tanner Chata in second. Zaru now leading a pack of 4, trying to maintain pace. With the laboring on the face there of couple of Lakers trying to run down the front. The data scrubbing it out at 4 miles, getting better and better for Colorado Mines. All 5 counting runners in the top 14 positions amongst the teams. 45 points, the total at the 4-mile mark. Grand Valley State 43 points a year ago in the win. They finished 1-2, which certainly helped in that math. Mines getting that dominant run to this point from Dylan Powell. Duncan Fune in 6th. Luke Julian in 13th overall, 11th in counting points, with Chris Cathcart 16th on the course at 4 miles, the top 4 for the Ore Diggers. .7,200 meter timing coming in. Powell's lead over Chata has grown to 13 seconds. Wingate struggling to hold on to second over Grand Valley State at those last couple of splits. The Lakers have gotten closer and closer to a second place finish, but it's going to take a breakdown, you would feel, again here in 2022 from somebody at the top for Mines. In fact, it may take a breakdown of 2 runners to give anybody in the field a chance. There you see Powell all alone at the front of this field. And not a single runner in view. It was the 3rd time up the hill in St. Leo, Florida last year that did in Dylan Powell. But again, a slightly flatter course and significantly more favorable weather conditions. Tanner Chata in second, maintaining a bit of an edge over third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. You see there on the screen. Zach Kreff from Walsh has joined the party. The Midwest Regional Champion is in that group with Becker, Zaru, and now Duncan Fune, who has joined the second scoring runner for Mines. But what a welcome sign for Dylan Powell. Cruising as he has done so often in his phenomenal career. Really the only win still lacking in his resume, indoor, outdoor, cross country, is this championship, a Division II cross country title. And he's one little push away from doing it. 24 minutes, 10.2 seconds his split time at 8,200 meters. He's 1,800 meters from the finish line. The last time coming around the very northwest corner. Powell will turn, come through that chute for a sixth time. The seventh time will be his sprint to the finish. It'll be a tiny final loop through the field of the starting chute, and then a turn for home for Dylan Powell. He is just about approaching. When he gets to the end of this chute, he will make a right-hand turn. There you see the turn right there, and he will pass 9,000 meters. Right there, he'll go through the timing. 1,000 meters to go for Dylan Powell, and there is nothing in that gait, in that stride, to give you any indication that it isn't going to be a national title for him, and how sweet it will be a year after breaking down in the race. Comes around the outside of that chute, the backside of the boxes from which he started just 27 minutes ago. You can look back behind, and there is no sign. Just now starting to creep into the very, very back of the picture, the runners behind. The only person that can beat Dylan Powell right now is Dylan Powell.
Quickly, still got people on the course. Still got athletes on the course on this side. Hold for a second, yeah.
And the splits coming through. He ran 9,000 meters in 26:31.3, opening up nearly a 20-second gap on Tanner Chata, who's still running by himself in second, 6 seconds ahead of the group behind. And Mines still in a dominant position. A look over his shoulder as Powell makes that left-hand turn. He'll hook back around. It'll be about 120 meters before he turns right and sprints to the finish. but still driving those legs and perhaps even making a statement here. Just over a year removed from a race he wanted to redo on so badly. Becker makes that turn. Cole Nash of Alaska Anchorage going to get a top 10, it would appear. And the final turn has been made from Dylan Powell. He heads back through the chute for a 7th and final time, and look at them all gathered at the final stripe. He appears in the distance. And a year after a dominant pace proved to be too much for his body to handle, Dylan Powell will sweep the postseason and be a national champion for the first time. A right hand, a left hand in the air. He knows it. He's your winner. And Dylan Powell has done it. And now we'll turn around and watch a likely victory celebration with the Ore Diggers if they can outkick the rest of the field. For the second straight year, Tanner Chata is going to finish second in this race for Grand Valley State. Good final push. Zerua top 5, good sprint at the end. And for the final, the next few is Duncan Fune, who ended up making the kick for the Ore Diggers and may have got himself a top 3 finish as he was hustling in behind, at least in the counting individual standings. And what some of these positions matter. And maybe some personal bests. And the results will start to slowly work their way in. 29 minutes, 28 seconds flat, the time for Dylan Powell. To give you an idea, last year Isaac Harding won in 29:58.3 in those stifling conditions. So Powell ends up running maybe even a smarter pace, but ends up 30 seconds better than the winning pace last year, to give you an idea of how conditions played into it. At the 9,000 meter split, Mines was showing with 43 points to having a 123-point lead. So it was going to take 2, maybe even 3 runners failing down the stretch. But until you have 5 counting scores across, we won't have official results in. But it's Powell winning, Fune in 3rd. Lauk Scomperin ends up top 10ing with a nice surge at the end. Luke Julian in 13th position. These are all, of course, unofficial. Chris Cathcart 23rd, Paul Knight 24th. I've already counted enough Ore Diggers for counting positions, but that's unofficial across the scoring here at the finish line, having 3 Ore Diggers in the top 10, 4 in the top 13, and your 5-man, it appears to be 23rd in Cathcart. That is phenomenal running from the #1 team in the country, who flexes a little bit here today. And it appears all but counting it up and making sure the final tally is fully accurate, but Chris Seamer's crew may be on their way to their 3rd national championship in dominant fashion. A lot of athletes out here from other sports. Again, 6 different championships taking place right now here at the Division II Festival. 88 different teams, over 1,000 student athletes. And just love every moment you get to call these races, to watch these final finishes, even those that are finishing. These are outside the top 150, outside the top 200 in the field, and yet giving every single ounce that their body can give to the point of collapse. Just a testament to the value and the effort that these student athletes put in. Okay, Grand Valley State won last year with an impressive tally of 43 points. That was the lowest point total in nearly a decade. And how apropos would it be if Mines can match that point for point, which right now unofficially is what we are looking at. Mines showing in scoring positions 1, 3, 8, 11, and 20 for a 43-point total, and a 133-point victory over Wingate, which right now shows by just 13 points over Colorado Christian in second. Solid pack at the top with 4 runners all within a 12-position gap for the Bulldogs. Made their first ever appearance in this NCAA championship last year, finishing 6th under head coach Paul Dominic, and amazing to think that in just the second appearance in this national championship race, the Wingate Bulldogs are going to stand second on the podium. That is right now what it appears. They made up 9 spots, or 9 points, I should say, in the final 1,000 meters. Colorado Christian showing in 3rd, 10th last year. Grand Valley State in their title defense showing in 4th. Chico State right now showing in the 5th position. Just a couple of runners still left on the course, which appeared to hold up rather nicely. That's a good sign for the ladies, who are coming up at 11:15 Pacific time, 2:15 Eastern time. They'll be running a very similar route to those 2 circles of the property. Favorites in that one, Adams State, maybe even more overwhelming favorites to win that meet than Colorado Mines was to win this men's meet. It proved to be really no contest for the Ore Diggers. We have drama coming up in the women's 6K race in about 45 minutes or so from right now. Again, unofficially, the Mines total 43 points. That is holding pretty steady. A dominant run, a nearly 22nd victory by Dylan Powell to win his first national championship. And can't imagine many races in his phenomenal career that have been as satisfying as that one was for Powell, who was one of 17 runners who did not finish last year, and one of the other 16 that didn't. Duncan Fune from Colorado School of Mines makes a late push to finish 3rd. So how about that 1-year turnaround for the Ore Diggers, to have 2 runners unable to finish in those warmer, humid, hilly conditions in Florida last year, end up being the top 3 here in 2022, and appeared to have led the Ore Diggers. We always have to say unofficial, but it's really hard to argue against a 134-point edge in scoring when you saw on the screen just how dominant that Mines run was. Think about the run, pardon the pun, for Dylan Powell of Colorado Mines, As you take a look at the results, they will not be official, so you could have a little bit of a change with a couple of those. We saw 4, 5, and 6 coming across in almost a dead heat, or I should say 5, 6, and 7 on that screen. So could be a protest here or there, have to go to the film, but Dylan Powell, no doubt, leaves no doubt as you work your way through the top 10. And the Ore Diggers, no doubt, on the team side as well. Jan Lucas Becker ran near the front most of the race, as did Afi Zaru. Zaru ends up in 5th. Becker outkicked at the end by Cole Nash and Dayton Brown, falls to 8th, but it'll be back-to-back years to the top 10 finish for Becker now running at Mississippi College. Ransom Allen, a nice late run, as was the run for Laxcom Perrin for Colorado School of Mines to get a top 10. So 3 Ore Diggers running in the top 10 of this race, a dominant performance for them as you continue to work your way through the list here in this men's 10,000 meter run. But Dylan Powell is going to be a national champion for the first time. He won the Division II outdoor track and field 10,000 meter championships this past May. The RMAC 10,000 meter champion in track, the RMAC cross country champion just a couple of weeks ago. He won the pre-nationals meet on this Chambers Creek Regional Park layout back on October the 22nd. He is going to sweep his fall and win for the 4th time, including the biggest race of them all, this national championship. So absolutely dominant, impressive performance from Colorado School of Mines and their star, Dylan Powell. Went to the front early, and a year after he could not maintain the pace, showed that he was simply the best, as was his team. Powell a champion, the Ore Diggers champions for a 3rd time. Women's race coming up in about 35 minutes from right now.
And congratulations there, Duncan. We will also now do the honoring of the Women's Elite 90 Award for the 2022 NCAA Women's Cross Country Championship with a cumulative grade point average of 4.0, folks. That is perfection in computer science. Also from Colorado School of Mines, Zoe Baker. Congratulations, Zoe. The Ore Diggers doing it on the course and in the classroom here. They take both of the Elite 90 awards again. Folks, let's hear it one more time for Duncan and Zoe. I believe they're also a couple here, so they work well together. Hey, let's get them up there.
Is it okay if I just zoom? There's a ton of photographers right at my feet. Everybody's crouching down. Okay, I'm gonna move past you guys because I'm shooting live. You want me that tight or tighter?
And now let's proceed with our presentation awards to our top 15 participants, and we begin with our 15th placer, Charlie Donate Jr. from Simon Fraser, a time of 30:12 for Charlie. There he comes. Caleb Futter is our 14th placer. Caleb, sophomore from Grand Valley State, with a time of 30:11. In 13th place, it is Luke Julian. He is a senior for the Ore Diggers of the Colorado School of Mines.
Just study your horizon. Yep.
His time 30:11.5. The 12th placer is Simon Kalati. He represents Western Colorado with a time of 30:08. Josh Pierantoni is our 11th placer, senior from Colorado Christian. In 10th, congratulate Loic Skomparin, sophomore, Colorado School of Mines, 30:06.
Speakerphone and we don't want to hear my voice. Copy.
Our 9th placer this morning is Ransom Allen. He is a senior from Wayne State with a time of 30:04. The 8th placer, Jan Lucas Becker, Jr., Mississippi College, 29:57.2.
Shaking hands to get them approaching and then settle back.
Dayton Brown finishing 7th. He is a junior from Saginaw Valley. His time 29:57. 6th belongs to Cole Nash, sophomore, Alaska Anchorage, also 29:57.
Let's go, Cole!
Afwerki Zaru is our 5th placer, senior from UC Colorado Springs. In the 4th, it is Zach Kreft, Jr. from Walsh, 29:53. And again onto the stage in 3rd place today, Duncan Feeney, sophomore, Colorado School of Mines, 29:48 for Duncan. Tanner Chada picking up his award as a 2nd place finisher for the 2nd consecutive year. Chada, a senior from Grand Valley State with a time of 29:47.1, and congratulate your 2022 men's National Collegiate Division II champion. This is Dylan Powell, Colorado School of Mines, with a time of 29:28 flat.
I do have your gloves.
Well, Dylan Powell, a national championship, got to be a pretty big day for the Ore Diggers. You seem to have a race plan that includes running from the very front as long as you possibly can, establishing a little bit of hurt on the people behind you. Worked well today, didn't it?
Yeah, that was pretty much the plan. Just know that my strengths lie in pushing the pace. I waited till about midway to really put a big surge in, but yeah, it worked out.
Well, congratulations on a terrific effort this morning, and we start indoor track tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Nice work.
Hey, Dylan. Whatever you want to do.
Love you, Dylan!
think it might be in the rover. It's probably still at the finish line, which is over next to. Do you know where the finish line's at? You do? Yeah, sorry. I'm sure it's either there or it's in one of these other pockets. I'm just being told what to do while I'm trying to do this with you.
A little begrudgingly, but not. I mean, look, helps stand on the ticket.
Okay, we move next to the presentation of the awards to our top 4 finishing teams on the men's side, and we'll begin with the Lakers of Grand Valley State. They were our 4th place team with a grand total of 209 points. I'd like to bring them up to the stage, please. This is a team coached by Jerry Baltus in his 24th year at the head of the program. Great Lakes Conference champions, Midwest regional champions. In fact, for 20 consecutive years, they have won the Midwest regional championship.
Right here, guys.
And a congratulations to the Lakers of Grand Valley State.
Good. Yeah.
And next we ask that the Colorado Christian team make their way to the awards podium, please. This is a team that finished with 191 points in garnering their 3rd place overall finish. John Polk, the head coach for the Cougars. And this is another of those teams that comes out of that very tough Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. In fact, they were 9th in their conference championship, moved up to number 2 in the South Central region in that competition, and here they mount the stand as the 3rd best men's team at the Division II level in the country.
Somebody want to grab the... Grab that.
And our awards this morning are being presented by the members of the NCAA Championship Committee.
All right, dude. So you're on TV right now, so you got to be really careful.
And as the Colorado Christian team exit the stage, we bring our 2nd place team, Wingate, up. Wingate finished the competition with 177 points this morning. And their head coach, Paul Dominic, Southern Athletic Conference champions in each of the last 2 years. And they were also winners in the Southeast region on their home course. They came in as the number 3 ranked team in the country and number 1 in the Southeast. the Bulldogs of Wingate out of Wingate, North Carolina.
Guys, right here. Let's go.
And next we ask our team champions on the men's side, the Ore Diggers of Colorado School of Mines, to take their place on the award stand. All right, this team is coached by Chris Simers in his 11th year as the Ore Diggers have been all winning here in 2022. They were here for the pre-nationals and ran away with that competition with a total of 19 points. South Central winners with 25 points. Today accumulating 43 on the basis of first, third, 8th, 11th, and 20th. So all scorers in the top 20 for the Ore Diggers. They have been the #1 ranked team throughout the entire season and enjoying the spoils of their victory this morning. Congratulations, Colorado School of Mines. They were national champions in 2015 and 2019, and now they add the 2022 crown to their impressive total.
Keep your head down. You're blocking all of us. You don't think the NCAA does too? No, that's not the way it is.
And again, congratulations there to the Colorado School of Mines Ore Diggers. We'll get them off the stage and get those awards back in the box, and they'll get recognized again at the closing ceremonies, as this is a fall championship here in the NCAA Division II ranks. Mines will have some extra recognition again tomorrow for their efforts. Our top teams and top individuals to be recognized at the closing ceremony. The next thing we will do is the presentation for the top 15 women in the women's performance on the 6 kilometer championships.